In today's world, niceness is often praised as a virtue. But for Sigma females, it is transformed into a burdensome expectation, rather than a badge of honor. These compassionate individuals have recognized the toll of constantly prioritizing others' happiness, often leaving them drained and undervalued. Instead of perpetually playing the agreeable friend or the ever-available shoulder to lean on, they've chosen a different path. They are rewriting their narrative. By releasing themselves from the pressure to please everyone, Sigma females are reclaiming their equilibrium, authenticity, and emotional well-being. This journey goes beyond simply learning to say no more often. It's about nurturing profound, authentic connections and establishing boundaries that safeguard their energy and dignity. Discover with us why Sigma females are reframing their perspective on niceness and how this transformation is empowering them to lead more enriching lives. Number 1, avoiding burnout. Sigma females have cracked the code on avoiding burnout, and let me tell you, it's a game changer. They used to be like those old school Energizer bunnies, just going and going until their batteries were running on fumes. But now they've learned the art of saying no without feeling like they've just cancelled Christmas. Think of it like this. Constantly being nice to everyone is like trying to water a whole garden with a leaky hose. It's exhausting, messy, and you end up with half-dead plants. Sigma females have realized that their energy is precious, like a rare Pokemon card collection. They've become pros at setting boundaries and prioritizing what truly matters, so they don't end up feeling like they've been run over by a stampede of elephants. By taking time to recharge their emotional batteries, they're actually more effective when they do decide to lend a helping hand. It's like giving your phone a quick charge. Suddenly, it's ready to conquer the world again. They've discovered that self-care isn't selfish. It's essential for keeping their empathy engine running smoothly. So while others might be running around like headless chickens, Sigma females are chilling out, knowing they've got this whole balance thing down pat. They're not burning out, they're glowing up. And let's face it, we could all use a little more glow in our lives, right? Number 2, valuing reciprocity. All right, imagine this. Sigma Sarah, the queen of keeping it real with her friendships. She used to be the go-to gal for everyone's problems, like the neighborhood therapist with a never-ending appointment book. But one day she looked at her roster of friends and thought, wait a minute, why is this friendship thing feeling so one-sided? So Sarah did what any self-respecting Sigma would do. She did a friendship audit. She realized that she was putting in way more effort than she was getting back. It was like she was the only one bringing snacks to the potluck while everyone else just showed up empty-handed. That's when Sarah decided to upgrade her friendship circle. She started hanging out with people who valued her as much as she valued them. It wasn't about keeping score, it was about mutual respect and support. If she was going to listen to someone vent about their bad day, she expected a virtual high five when she aced that presentation at work. Now Sarah's friendships are like a well-oiled machine. They're balanced, they're supportive, and they're filled with laughter and genuine connection. She's learned that it's okay to be selective about who gets a front row seat in her life. Because when you surround yourself with people who lift you up as much as you lift them, life just feels a whole lot lighter and brighter. Ladies, if this video is resonating with you so far, and you found insight into the journey of Sigma female reclaiming their authenticity and well-being, consider subscribing to the Sigma female dynasty. Thank you, damsels. Let's get back to the video. Number 3, respecting inner peace. All right, let's talk about Sigma Samantha and her journey to inner peace. It's like finding a Zen garden in the middle of a bustling city. She used to be the yes woman, always bending over backwards to please everyone and ending up more frazzled than a squirrel in a popcorn factory. But one day, Samantha had an epiphany while sipping her chai latte. She realized that her inner peace was worth more than gold-plated yoga mats. So she decided to stop being nice at the expense of her own sanity. No more saying yes to every favor or attending every event just to keep up appearances. Instead, Samantha focused on what truly brought her peace. Whether it was curling up with a good book, taking a long bubble bath, or just enjoying a quiet moment with her thoughts. She learned that saying no doesn't make her a bad person, it makes her a guardian of her own peace. Nowadays, Samantha is like the captain of her own serenity ship. She navigates through choppy waters of obligations and demands with grace and a knowing smile. She's found that when she respects her own need for peace and quiet, she's actually more present and supportive for others when they really need her. So while the world might still be spinning with chaos, Samantha has found her calm center. She's no longer a slave to the tyranny of niceness. She's the peaceful warrior who knows when to say yes to herself and when to gracefully decline the rest. At number 4, strengthening inner circle. Let's talk about Sigma Sally's circle of friends. It's tighter than a pair of yoga pants after a spin class. She used to think being nice to everyone meant she had to spread herself thin like peanut butter on toast, but boy was she wrong. Sally realized quality beats quantity any day when it comes to friendships. Now she's all about curating her inner circle like a boss. It's not about having 1,000 friends on social media, it's about having a handful of real ones who've got her back like a well-tailored blazer. These are the folks who don't just show up for the good times. They bring the ice cream when she's had a rough day and listen to her rants without checking their watch. By focusing on these meaningful connections, Sally's created a support squad that's stronger than a triple-shot espresso. These friends aren't just there for the selfies, they're there for the real stuff, like celebrating successes and weathering storms together. It's like having a personal cheerleading squad, minus the pom-poms, but with all the love and encouragement. And here's the kicker. Sally's realized that nurturing these deep connections isn't just good for her mental health. It's good for her soul. It's like watering a plant that blooms into a beautiful garden of trust and mutual respect. So while Sally might not have the biggest social circle, she's got the best one, filled with people who lift her up and make life a whole lot sweeter. Number 5, awareness of emotional manipulation. Let's chat about Sigma Sheila and her new stance on dealing with emotional manipulation. It's like watching a master chef chop onions without shedding a tear. Sheila used to be the go-to gal for lending an ear or a tissue whenever someone needed to unload their emotional baggage. She was like a human Kleenex box, always ready to soak up tears and provide comfort. But one day, Sheila had an epiphany as clear as a streak-free window after a good cleaning. She was tired of being taken for an emotional joyride. It was like playing emotional Monopoly and always ending up with the utility bills. Sheila realized that her kindness wasn't a green light for others to manipulate her feelings or guilt trip her into doing things. So, she put on her emotional detective hat and became Sherlock Holmes in heels, sniffing out manipulation tactics like a bloodhound on a scent. Whether it was the Guilt Trip Express or the sob story train, Sheila could spot them from a mile away. She learned to set boundaries thicker than a dictionary and say no, without feeling like she needed to write an essay explaining herself. Nowadays, Sheila's like the CEO of her emotional well-being. She's not afraid to call out manipulative behavior or walk away from toxic situations faster than a celebrity dodging paparazzi. By standing up for herself and valuing her own feelings, Sheila's created a fortress of self-respect that's as strong as titanium. And here's the twist. Since Sheila started putting herself first and guarding her emotional castle, she's found that people respect her more, not less. It's like they can sense her inner strength and integrity, and they're drawn to it like moths to a porch light. So while Sheila still cares deeply about others, she's not sacrificing her own happiness and sanity to be everyone's emotional dumping ground. She's rewriting the rules and setting the tone for how she deserves to be treated, with kindness, respect, and a healthy dose of self-preservation. Number 6, prioritizing self-care. Let's talk about Sigma Sarah and her revelation about self-care. It's like discovering a secret stash of chocolate in the back of the pantry. Sarah used to think that being nice meant sacrificing her own needs and constantly putting others first, like she was the unpaid intern of friendship. But one day, Sarah realized she was running on empty more often than her car's gas tank after a road trip. She decided it was time for a self-care intervention. No more neglecting herself like yesterday's leftovers in the fridge. She started prioritizing things that brought her joy and rejuvenation. Whether it was taking a yoga class, indulging in a bubble bath with candles galore, or simply curling up with a good book and a cozy blanket. Sarah learned that self-care isn't selfish, it's self-preservation. It's like putting on your own oxygen mask before helping others on a turbulent flight. Because let's face it, you can't pour from an empty teapot. Nowadays, Sarah's self-care game is stronger than her Wi-Fi connection on a good day. She's learned that by nurturing herself, she's actually better equipped to handle life's challenges and be there for others when they need her most. It's not about being selfish. It's about maintaining a healthy balance between giving and receiving. And here's the kicker. Since Sarah started taking better care of herself, she's noticed a positive ripple effect in her relationships. She's more present, patient, and energized. It's like she upgraded from a tired old flip phone to the latest smartphone. She's got all the features and none of the glitches. So while she still spreads kindness and support like confetti, she does it from a place of strength and self-assurance. Number 7, fostering genuine respect. Let's chat about Sigma female Samantha and her newfound respect mojo. It's like watching a magician pull a rabbit out of a hat, except she's pulling out respect left and right. Samantha used to think that being nice to everyone automatically earned her respect, like she was handing out gold stars at a kindergarten graduation. But one day she realized that respect isn't a participation trophy you get just for showing up. It's more like earning your stripes in a fierce game of laser tag. You've got to earn it by showing integrity, standing up for what's right, and not being afraid to speak your mind. So, Samantha tossed out the old playbook of trying to please everyone. She started setting boundaries and standing firm in her beliefs like a skyscraper in a windy city. It's not about being rude or confrontational, it's about being true to herself and earning respect through actions, not just words. Nowadays, Samantha commands respect like a boss, literally. She's learned that by being authentic and standing her ground, people respect her more. It's like they can sense her strength and conviction and they admire her for it. And here's the twist. Since Samantha stopped worrying about being nice all the time, she's actually built stronger and more genuine connections with others. It turns out people respect her more when she respects herself first. It's like upgrading from a tricycle to a Harley. She's cruising through life with confidence and earning respect every step of the way. Number 8, recognizing self-worth. Let's talk about Sigma Susan and her journey to discovering her own self-worth. It's like finding a hidden gem in a thrift store bargain bin. Susan used to think her value was tied to how much she could do for others or how perfectly she could juggle everyone's demands. It was like she was running her own circus, trying to keep all the plates spinning without dropping a single one. But one day, Susan had an aha moment that hit her like a ton of glitter. It's not about being everyone's go-to problem solver or cheerleader. It's about recognizing her own worth just for being herself, flaws and all. It's like realizing that a vintage vinyl record is valuable because of its uniqueness, not because it plays every song perfectly. So Susan started treating herself like the queen she truly is. She stopped settling for crumbs of appreciation and started demanding a seat at the table of respect and recognition. It's not about being arrogant, it's about knowing her own value and refusing to settle for anything less. Nowadays, Susan walks through life with a swagger that says, "I know my worth and I won't accept anything less." She's like a lioness in a pride, fierce and confident, knowing she deserves to be treated with kindness, respect and admiration. And here's the kicker. Since Susan started owning her self-worth, others have started to see it too. It's like they finally caught on to what she's known all along, that she's a force to be reckoned with, deserving of every bit of love and respect that comes her way. Number 9, cultivating assertiveness. Let's dive into Sigma Sarah's journey to mastering assertiveness. It's like watching a timid kitten transform into a lioness who's not afraid to roar. Sarah used to be the yes woman, always saying, "Sure, why not?" Even when she wanted to scream, "No way!" It was like she was handing out free passes to her time and energy without realizing she had VIP status. But one day Sarah decided enough was enough. She sharpened her claws and embraced her inner roar. Now when she has something to say, she says it loud and clear like a microphone at a rock concert. It's not about being aggressive or bulldozing over others. It's about speaking her truth and standing firm in her beliefs. Sarah realized that being assertive doesn't mean she has to be a steamroller. It's more like being the captain of her own ship. She navigates conversations and decisions with confidence, setting boundaries like buoys in a sea of opinions. Nowadays, Sarah's assertiveness is as sharp as a ninja's sword. She's learned that by speaking up for herself, she earns respect and fosters healthier relationships. It's like upgrading from a meek mouse to a bold lioness, ready to pounce on opportunities and defend her territory. And here's the twist. Since Sarah started asserting herself, she's noticed a positive shift in how others perceive her. They respect her more for her honesty and admire her courage to stand up for what she believes in. It's like she's earned a spot on the podium of self-respect, and she's not planning on stepping down anytime soon. And number 10, encouraging personal growth. Let's talk about Sigma Sally and her knack for fostering growth. It's like being a gardener with a green thumb for personal development. Sally used to think that being nice meant smoothing over conflicts and avoiding difficult conversations like they were the plague. It was like she was sprinkling fairy dust on everyone's problems, hoping they would magically disappear. But one day, Sally realized that growth doesn't happen in a comfort zone that's cozier than a fluffy blanket. She embraced the idea that sometimes you have to prune the dead branches and water the roots to see real progress. It's like being a coach who cheers on the team while also pushing them to train harder. So Sally became the queen of constructive feedback and gentle nudges. She learned that challenging others to step up their game isn't about being a buzzkill. It's about believing in their potential and helping them shine brighter than a disco ball. Nowadays, Sally's like the motivational speaker you'd want on speed dial. She encourages others to embrace challenges and learn from setbacks, like turning lemons into lemonade stand profits. She's created an environment where growth isn't just encouraged, it's celebrated with confetti cannons and high fives all around. And here's the kicker: since Sally started fostering growth in herself and others, she's seen transformations that rival a caterpillar turning into a butterfly. People admire her for pushing them to be their best selves, and they trust her guidance because they know it comes from a place of genuine support. So while others might shy away from tough conversations, Sigma Sally dives right in, armed with positivity and a sprinkle of humor. She's not just nurturing plants in her garden, she's cultivating a community of growth and empowerment that's flourishing under her care. Thanks, damsels, for watching, and see you in the next vid. Stay blessed and bye.